If you have been listening to all these podcasts, kids, then you have become an expert in climate in so many ways. And in the last podcast, we said global warming doesn't mean it's warming everywhere. There are, in fact, places where there is cooling happening. And you know that warming is related to sea level because warm water expands and occupies more volume, which means sea level rises because of all that warming and the heat is going into the ocean. But remember that the oceans have currents because atmosphere has winds. Atmosphere is pushing the water around, which means you're moving the heat around, and you are also melting glaciers, and that water, remember, came from the ocean. Oceans evaporate, create snow on land, and that snow keeps accumulating into glaciers. When you build kilometers thick glaciers, you have moved a lot of water from the ocean onto land. In fact, glaciers are so heavy, as we said before, they can push the land down, and when the glaciers melt, the land comes back up. So relatively speaking, if land goes up, sea level is lower. If land goes down, sea level is relatively higher. All these things together means that global mean sea level is rising, and it's a direct measure of the amount of heat we are trapping, which also is related to global warming, of course. But just like global warming has patterns, sea level rise also has patterns. Think of a big bowl of water or milk or coffee. Put a spoon and churn it. If you are not doing anything, the level will be flat. But if you churn it, then you will have the milk level or water level being different at the edges and the middle. So Earth is rotating, which creates dynamics already, and then you have winds and you have uneven heating because warming is not uniform either. And altogether, you are creating high sea levels in some places along some coasts. For example, we worry about coasts because there are a lot of people living there, and there are big cities from New York to Miami to Mumbai, Chennai, and Shanghai, and you have all kinds of coastal cities, Tokyo, and they are all vulnerable to sea level rise. So we must know whether at a given place, especially islands, sea level is rising, how fast it is rising. If it's not rising, how long will it remain that way? Will it start rising at some point? And so on. There are many complicated issues. If the island begins to lose land because of sea level rise, what happens to its territory and so on? Okay, we'll come back and learn more.